Direct from Nashville, Tennessee, here's the Porter Wagoner Show. Starring Porter Wagoner, Dolly Parton, Mel Tillis, Speck Rhodes, Don Howser, the Wagonmasters, and today's special guest star. And now, here's Porter.
You can't change the daylight to dark, and you can't make a hero go blind. I warn you not to give your love to me. I knew that I would only break your heart. I'm the kind you just can't never change, 'cause you can't make a heel toe tomorrow. You can't stop time from rolling on. You can't keep a man from going wrong. You can't change the daylight to dark, and you can't make a heel toe tomorrow. A leopard can never change his spots. The big tiger will never change his stripes. A hound dog will never change his bark, and you can't make old Tilly toe tomorrow. You can't stop time rolling on. You can't keep a man from going wrong. You can't change the daylight to dark, and you can't make a heel toe tomorrow. No, you can't make a heel toe tomorrow. Thank you very much. Thank you. And welcome to our show today. I think you'll enjoy today's show. We've got one of the real fine guests on our show today, Mr. Kenny Price. He'll be along in a few minutes. And right now, let's get together and welcome. Oh, you're looking good today.
Yeah, I feel good.
Oh, you look fine. You got the words all learned to this one?
Got them all learned, everything just right.
Make him welcome Mel Tillis.
Thank you, Porter. Get in here and Mack and help me.
There's a girl in a bar room. We all know her well. Her name fits the stories that some men like to tell. She may be young and pretty, with lips red as wine, or a girl whose eyes reflect the years no makeup can hide. In her world walk the lonely, the rejected and condemned. It's a world that once sent her. There's no turning back again. Like a rose that lies crushed and crumpled on the sand. She was created by heaven, now destroyed by man. Destroyed by man, and the love that she gave lost unless heaven counts her worthy to save. Men don't respect her, still they hold her hand. She was created by heaven, now destroyed by man. Thank you, George. Thank you, Dolly. Good job, George and Tilly.
Oh,
Fine
that
job.
gets high in there, don't it?
It does. That's a pretty song, man.
Thank
And
you. It's
You've had a big record on it. Mighty nice job.
Well, thank you, Chief.
Okay. You
And
got
I
any?
thank you two folks for buying it.
Do you know what's coming up next on the
Yes,
show?
I do.
All righty.
Commercial, folks. Stand by.
Nice job, Mack. Thank you. Mack MaGaha and some good country-style fiddling. Now here's a pretty gal with a real pretty song I know you'll enjoy. The title of the song is Only 18. Miss Dolly Parton.
I've lived my life, thank you, and I'm only 18. I left the country for the city. Thought I was smart, but I was silly. I should have known I'd get in trouble being so free. I've lived my life, and I'm only 18. Now I met a boy and learned to love him. I would have done anything for him. I loved him more than anything I've ever seen. I've lived my life, and I'm only 18. Only 18, but it's all over. I ruined my life to please my lover. I made him happy, he made me cry, then said goodbye. I've lived my life, and I'm only 18. I've lived my life, and I'm only 18. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Dolly. Mighty nice job. She'll be back in a minute. We have a duet song we'll do for you. Right now, I want to introduce my special guest today. Here's an old boy that has had some real fine records. He started out, his first real big one was a tune titled Walking on New Grass. Come over, I want you to do it over here where I'm at, also. And then Happy Tracks and Southern Bound. Here he is, Kenny Price. Kenny Price. Oh, we're delighted to have you. Man, hey, I asked him a while ago, I said, when is your birthday, Kenny? And he said, May the 27th and 28th.
Takes 2 days.
Glad to have you, Hoss.
Good to
What are
be
you
on
gonna-
my favorite show.
Thank
Porter.
you. What are you going to do for us?
Well, we'll do that brand new, I guess, that Southern Bound thing.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it down wrong.
I'm walking southern bound down a highway. Cars and the buses and the big trucks pass me by. Walk a while, then I thumb. Yeah, they must think I'm a bum, 'cause no one will give this country boy a ride. I left to get a job in that big city. 'Cause Lucy's dad said, son, don't you hang around. I got her letter in the mail today, and he can't keep me away. Tonight this country boy is southern bound. I can't afford a ticket on that big gray dog. Where I'm going, they don't know a freight train sound. I'm a long way from home, cold and hungry and all alone. Tonight this country boy is southern bound. All right, Buck. I know they'll all be glad to see me. It's been so long since I left to roam. I can hear my mama cry as she kissed her boy goodbye. Tonight this country boy is headed home. I know they'll all be glad to see me. It's been so long since I left to roam. I can hear my mama cry as she kissed her boy goodbye. Tonight this country boy is headed home. I can't afford a ticket on that big red dog. Where I'm going, they don't know a freight train sound. I'm a long way from home, cold and hungry and all alone. Tonight this country boy is headed home. Tonight this country boy is southern bound.
right, Kenny.
Thank you very much, Kenny.
Thank you, boy. That's great. Great job. He'll be back in a minute to do another song, man. That's real fine. You get better all
Boy,
the
it sure
time.
is, you know, these lights and everything's so hard on a fat boy.
Oh, man, you're a great entertainer. Why don't you
I
come
enjoy
back
it.
a little bit and
We'll
do
be
another
right
song?
back.
All righty. We're going to right now call on Miss Dolly Parton, and Dolly and I has a song out that we're right proud of. It's a real sad number, but it has a story to it. I hope you will enjoy it. It's titled, Jeannie's Afraid of the Dark.
Her 2 little feet would come running into our bedroom almost every night. Her soft little face would be wet from her tears and her little heart pounding with fright. She'd hold out her arms, then she'd climb in beside us. In a small voice we'd hear her remark, Mommy and Daddy, can't I sleep here with you? 'Cause Jeannie's afraid of the dark. One day in the summer, we took some flowers to place on some old family graves. And Jeannie said, Mommy, ain't it dark underground? Oh, Daddy, I'd be so afraid. And then she looked up at her daddy and me and said something that broke both our hearts. She said, when I die, please don't bury me, 'cause Jeannie's afraid of the dark.
Jeannie was always afraid of the dark, and we never could understand quite why. 'Cause we looked after Jeannie with the very best of care, 'cause Jeannie was our only child. Perhaps it was death that she was so afraid of, 'cause it took her one dark, stormy night. I think we always knew that we'd never see Jeannie grown, 'cause it seemed that she was destined to die. But on Jeannie's grave, we placed an eternal flame that glows and never loses its spark. And on the darkest night, there's always a light, 'cause Jeannie's afraid of the dark.
Our Jeannie's afraid of the dark.
Hello? Hello, Sadie. Yeah, I just called to tell you I'm back in town. Yeah, me and Mel Tillis been to Florida. Yeah, we went down there on the train. Left at nighttime, so we got us it was one of them sleeping berths on the train. And that night, during the night before bedtime, old Mel got to wandering around through the train and got lost. He never did show back up. Next morning I asked him, I said, Mel, where'd you sleep last night? You never did come back to your berth. He said, well, I don't know, Speck, but he said, I'll tell you one thing. I was the person to get to brush my teeth and shave this morning. Yeah. Well, I went down to shave, brush my teeth, and on the way back up to the dining car, I discovered I'd left my toothbrush. And I went back down to get it and opened the door, and there's a guy in there brushing his teeth with it. I said, say, buddy, that's my toothbrush. He said, oh, excuse me. He said, I thought this belonged to the railroad company. Yeah, look, I got me a new suit while I'm down there, one of them there Panama suits. I'll be over to see you in it after a while. Okay, goodbye. So long, honey.
All right. Thank you, Speck. Boy, I've been telling you, you get worse all the time. That's a nice job. Thank you so much, Speck. Of the many songs that I've done on the television show, here's the one that you've asked for more than any of the others. And I hope you'll enjoy it today. It's titled Trouble in the Amen Corner. It was a stylish congregation. You could see they'd been around. And they had the biggest pipe organ of any church in town. But over in the Amen corner of this church sat Brother Eyre. And he insisted every Sunday on singing in the choir. His voice was cracked and broken. Age had touched his vocal cords. And he'd get behind and miss the words. Well, the choir stormed and blustered. Brother Eyre sang too slow. And he sang the tunes in style 100 years ago. So at last the storm cloud burst, and the church was told in Vine that Brother Eyre must stop his singing, or the choir was going to resign. So the pastor appointed a committee. I think it is 3 or 4. And they got in their big fine car and drove up to Eyre's door. They found the choir's great trouble sitting in an old armchair, and the summer's golden sunbeams lay upon his snow-white hair. Said York, "We're here, dear brother, with the vestry's approbation, to discuss a little matter that affects the congregation. Now, we don't want no more singing, except what we've bought. The newest songs are all the rage, the old ones stand for naught. And so we've decided..." Are you listening, Brother Eyre? You'll have to stop your singing. It's messing up the choir. The old man raised his head, a sign that he did hear, and on his cheek the 3 men caught the glitter of a tear. His feeble hands pushed back the locks as white as silky snow, and he answered the committee in a voice both soft and low. "I've sung the Psalms of David nearly 80 years," said he. "They've been my staff and comfort all along life's dreary way. I'm sorry I disturbed the choir. I guess I'm doing wrong. But when my heart is filled with praise, I can't hold back a song. You know, I wonder if beyond the tide that's breaking at my feet, in that far-off heavenly temple where my master I shall meet. Wonder if when I try to sing the songs of God up higher, reckon they'll kick me out up there for singing in heaven's choir." A silence filled the little room. The old man bowed his head. The committee went on back to town, but Brother Eyre was dead. The choir missed him for a while, but he was soon forgot. And a few churchgoers watched the door, but the old man entered not. Far away his voice is sweet, and he sings his heart's desires, where there are no church committees and no fashionable choirs. Price, yeah!
I know that you heard people say many, many times, you don't pass through this world, but once you get yours and I'll get mine. But I've got a philosophy I believe I'd rather go by, and if you will just listen, you may want to know why. Leave a lot of happy tracks as you go down life's road. Leave a lot of happy tracks everywhere you go. Leave a lot of happy tracks, and keep this in mind, others will have to follow in the path you leave behind. Don't ever use a good friend for a personal gain. To gain wealth and lose one friend would only be in vain. Let your happy tracks be many, leave them everywhere you go. Others will have to harvest each and every seed you sow. Hey, leave a lot of happy tracks as you go down life's road. Leave a lot of happy tracks everywhere you go. Leave a lot of happy tracks and keep keep this in mind. Others will have to follow in the path you leave behind. Buck Trent. Don't ever use a good friend for a personal gain. To gain wealth and lose one friend would only be in vain. Let your happy tracks be many, leave them everywhere you go. Others will have to harvest each and every seed you sow. Hey, leave a lot of happy tracks as you go down life's road. Leave a lot of happy tracks everywhere you go. Leave a lot of happy tracks. And keep this in mind, others will have to harvest in the food you leave behind.
Yeah. That's great, man. Thank you, Kenny. Come back anytime, Osh. You're always welcome. One of my very favorite singers and a wonderful guy. That's all of our time for this week. Thanks, Kenny, Mel Tillis, Miss Dolly Parton, and everyone for being on the show. Hope you'll invite us back next week, same time. So long, Don Boy.
This has been the Putter Wagoner Show, a half hour of good country music and fun from the home of the Grand Ole Opry. This is Don Howser inviting you to tune in again next week, same time, same station.